The amount of times you wipe your backside, it's almost like doing Braille. You can, a lifetime of wiping your bumhole. How are snipers? This is Not For Radio. We are your hosts, Dunc and Hyde, Jay Reeve. Caution, this podcast will contain some swearing. It's a hell of a podcast today.
Yeah. Have you ever wondered what a seagull tastes like, what Benny Boy's asshole looks like, or how far you can push the Haka? We've got it for you in the episode today.
It's a pretty good tease. Also, how to turn a human into a transistor radio. Like, holy hecka. It's a bit on. So enjoy the podcast. It's good to have you back for another week for those that aren't Sniper Elite. This episode of Not For Radio is brought to you by Classic Builders. They've been building homes for 30 years for Kiwis. National muscle with local tradies who actually know your patch.
Attention, snipers! Gear up and hold your positions. It's time to load up some war stories. Your tales from the front line, brought to life. Prepare to fire.
This is from Anonymous. So about 10 years ago, I was working for a massive corporate company as a regional manager in southwestern Queensland. New South Wales was in the midst of a massive 3-4 year drought. The place was fucked. Then to add some more pain in an already fucked situation, a huge bushfire ripped through the northern tablelands and really fucked the joint.
Wow.
Due to this, some staff couldn't get to one of our sister company's branches, so I was asked to head out there for a few days to cover the staff shortage. Travelling out there, it was evident just how bad the drought was. You see it on the news and you hear it on the radio, but nothing gives you a real perspective until you actually get amongst it. Anywho, the first day was mostly uneventful, a couple of deliveries and a nice lunch from the local Thai joint, then off to my motel for the night. I hadn't checked in.
I still find it. This is one of the things that fascinates me, is the international cuisine that can be found in the middle of fucking nowhere. Oh, come on in and enjoy some Himalayan fare in a town that's fucking 3,000 kilometres from anywhere.
Well, I hadn't checked in as I got to the town around 6 a.m, so I had to check in after we shut the shop. Around 5 p.m, I was driving out to my accommodation and felt a stab in my guts. That's odd. Didn't last long, so I soldiered on. Found my motel. It was a nice little country motor inn on the edge of town. You know the type. Hills have eyes, but fucking not too bad. I parked, got out of the car and went to the head office.
Scan the room for RFD fucking signals.
When the old stabby feeling was back, this time it wasn't leaving. It was at this point I was regretting having Thai green curries 880 kilometres from the ocean, the fresh prawns, and the fact that Thailand is as far away from this little town on the edge of the outback should have set some alarm bells off. I slammed my knees together and I walked into the office. By this stage, I could only walk from the knees down.
Wow.
As I had from my knees to my ass completely locked down. I gingerly got to the front desk and told them my name. No sorry, sir. Due to the fires, we've had to put you up in a bed and breakfast out of town. The motel owner had a little granny flat out the back of his house, and that's where they stuck me. My boss had failed to mention this. So I had to pick up my bags very cautiously, while still maintaining that I was clenching everything as I moved and walked back to my car. I wish I had footage as I was walking like I was in a limbo contest and on a tightrope at the same time. I slowly slid back in my car and had to follow the owner out of town. I cannot stress enough the situation unfolding in my stomach. It can only be described as catastrophic. I lowered the seat as low as I could and so I could still see the road to ease the pressure. By this stage, I was sweating like a nun in a cucumber patch. We finally got to the flat, and I was a fucking mess. I couldn't speak, blink, walk, or breathe. I was fucked. The lovely man opens the door, and we were both hit by a stench that almost knocked us over. The Airbnb hadn't been used for months, and there was a giant fucking dead, half-rotten rat on the kitchen floor, maggots, the lot. It was the height of summer, a drought, and the place had been locked up for ages and had no way of letting the smell out. With that, the final curtain call was upon me, and I spewed and shat myself at the same time, right there in the doorway, with the owner standing in front of me looking absolutely horrified. Now, lads, I didn't just spew and shit. This was fucking biblical. It was the reenactment of the scene from The Exorcist. Shit everywhere. It seemed to go on forever. It was violent. I was in tears. The owner looked like he was about to die. I was trying to apologise, but it was fucking pointless. The damage was done. I'd shit and spewed on his lino floor, and there was fuck all either of us could do about it. The next 10 minutes, I sat beside my car on his lawn wrapped in a towel as he hosed the flat out apologising to me. Now, he thought it was from the rat. I didn't have the heart to tell him about that fucking tie joint in case he owned it as well. He let me have a shower in his house, then we drove back to the motel where we moved some things around and put me in a room where I spent the next 2 days basically on the floor of the shower. I didn't weigh myself, but fuck me, I lost some weight. He had to have known it wasn't the rat, but he didn't say anything. So in 3 days, I drove 20 hours on a road trip, ate a wild feed of fucking fresh prawns and lost a shitload of weight and got absolutely no work done. Love the Poddy, up the motherfucking wars. Phil, the fresh-ish prawn man. He's coming at the end, revealed his name.
Mate, that is so good.
That is elite level stuff.
You poor prick. Fuck, that is roller coaster stuff.
Talk about a tough day at work.
We had a similar one, and we've covered it before on the pod. That's the only time I have never had my stomach go that quick than when we left here and I walked. Like, my house was 2 k's from the old joint.
Yes.
And as I rounded the corner, I had 2 options of shitting on a church or doing the same thing, locking in from the tits to the knees in a full straight bar and just waddling with my, like Thelma off fucking Scooby-Doo, just full jinkies, twinkle toes along the thing. It's great.
What is, well, like, where does the liquid come from, eh?
Yeah.
Like, it just pulls. It's like doing, like, normally you're trying to, I guess, pull some liquid out for your shit and your urine and stuff, but it just goes in reversal mode.
I'm not entirely sure. Somebody that's in the medical fraternity will be able to.
Because you can go, like, have a full, like, bum wee scenario.
Yeah.
Empty out, nothing left. 10 minutes later, it's filled up again.
Yeah, and it's basically pulling all the fluid out of your body. Out, and that's what it just pulls it in. Your bowel is the regulator of fluid, so it's just either letting it out into your body or bringing it in, and it just that's why you just dry yourself out. That's why when you're in Bali, or if you've had one of those massive sessions, you plug yourself into an IV and it's got to fucking suck it out of your blood, which makes it a little bit harder.
I'll swerve around you.
Yeah, give best of luck. You can take anything I'm drinking, have all of those lemonade ice blocks and fucking whatever else, whatever those are, the frozen ones are.
Oh, fucking here we go. This is a beauty from Davy Beach.
This is Dingle from South East London, and you're listening to Not For Radio with Jay and Dunc, and these fuckers operate in that sweet spot of Max Chicken's rogueness.
So Davy Beach writes this one of the great snipers. Things that you've gone through life without seeing.
This is a great question.
And he kicks it off with turkey eggs.
We've fucking had heaps of turkeys on our farm. I've never seen them nest.
Yeah. This from Andrew Neve. I've never seen Mumbo number 6. This from Marcus. A chili sauce that I don't like. Just because it made me cry like a baby, nuked my throat and gave me the shits, doesn't mean I didn't enjoy it. Fuck, you're a beast, Marcus.
Is it? Yeah.
Bryn McMahon. Someone in the toilet looking down at me piss and saying, mean dick, bro. It was, for those that are new to the podcast, that was advice we gave to people to give out that comment at urinals more often. I got it over the weekend. I wasn't pissing, but someone yelled out to me at the supercars.
I had someone yell it to me when I was at UB40, and Dunc wasn't even with me. It was real out of context, and so everyone else that heard it also looked at him like he was just being a fucking weirdo.
I love it.
And then because
it's the ultimate in joke.
I had no context either because he didn't even say it the right way. Like, no, wasn't mean dick, bro. Woo-woo, with the shit whistle. It was nice dick, Jay. Or something. It was like, wow. I'm assuming that's what he was actually saying it about.
Another thing that someone else has gone their whole life without seeing, my actual dad. This from Shane Houston. Bit on the nose, but we'll take it. The Waz winning a title.
Yes.
Mark Smith says, I've never seen my farts, but fuck me, I've smelt them.
Jason Stewart, an advert for a Chinese restaurant.
The food's that good, they don't need to advertise.
Yeah. Rachel Tecker, the bottom of my feet. I've seen the bottom of my feet heaps. Fuck, I've pulled some shit out of my feet.
Remember when I wore Crocs too often? I got that weird thing with holes on my feet?
Yes.
Yeah, that was gross. That's completely gone now. It's like, they look like pinholes all over the sole of my feet.
From overcrocking.
Yeah. Too much sweat and just sitting in the rubber.
Mark Barraclough, very good one, this one. Baby seagulls.
That's so weird.
But you see, you know a baby seagull because they're the whiny fucks that are just chipping away at the bigger ones.
Does that mean
But
they're
they're
just
quite
in
big.
the nest for the first 5 months?
Yeah, they look like they come out pretty cooked.
Like fully grown like you as a child.
Yeah.
Look, there's a 20-year-old man. It's actually only 6 months, but loves the tit.
Do you know we've got like 10 different seagulls? So if you see like a flock of seagulls together, generally there's like 10 different species of seagull all hanging out
I know
together.
we've got the red-beaked, the black-beaked. There's the fucking huge ones.
The big brown and black ones.
Big
the
brown, they're
motley
my
ones,
favourite.
The big brindles.
They're all protected under New Zealand law except for the Pacific gulls. You can actually you can hunt those.
Which one's a Pacific gull though? Because good luck fucking pointing that out to me.
Those are the massive ones, the monstrous
We can
big
hunt
ones.
those.
Yeah, man.
They'll taste like shit.
the idea-
Geez, you'd need some best
No,
foods
that'd
mail
be
on
delicious.
them.
All they eat's fucking hot chips. That'd be sweet.
Well, we did some research to see if you could eat seagull eggs. The whole plan was we were going to cook some seagull eggs and eat them, and we talked to some experts. They're like,
Pull that mic up, mate. You're about 8 Ks away from it.
Firstly, the red-nosed gulls, the black-nosed gulls are protected in New Zealand.
And endangered.
Redder. They need to go to a rubbish dump. There's fucking heaps of them there.
The Pacific ones are not protected, so if you were going to eat any eggs or eat any seagulls, you can eat those big ones. But they reckon you get real sick. Jay's point, doesn't marinate the flesh. Eating rubbish actually is bad for you.
Okay. Just eat beach gulls then, because they just live on chips.
What do seagulls taste like?
Here
Here we go. Shit. Fucking hell. Let's see.
Lily Simon.
Things you've never seen.
The top of any shelf, I'm too short.
Aw. You're not missing much.
Not for me, but my husband, the G-spot.
Was that first and last name?
No.
No name. Anonymous. Well played.
Well done.
Should we go?
Oh, hang on. One here from Dan Watson. Well, this question caused some answers. I was going to say my own arsehole, but now I've got a video recording, so let's go with I've never seen a unicorn. Have you seen your own arsehole?
I can't think of a time where I would have. I've got a real clear picture of what I think it looks like in my head, but I imagine it's even worse than that.
Have I?
Well, you know, the amount of times you wipe your backside, it's almost like doing Braille. You can, a lifetime of wiping your bum hole. You've almost got a mega HD through the fingers, I reckon.
Braille reading your arsehole will be a fucking forever highlight of Not For Radio podcast.
Is it like a reverse menu? You can tell what you've eaten.
Instead of reading the dimples, you just read the wrinkles around the outside. Instead of reading across the page.
Have you
just
guys
read
seen
it
your
around.
bum holes?
Fuck no, that is my worst nightmare.
How'd you look at it? Mirror.
Filming certain adult videos at home, and then
Are you big on the adult videos?
love it.
Do you?
I've got more tripods in this room, mate.
But did you film
I
your
can
own
see
arsehole?
13.
Well, sometimes if you've got a static camera mount and you're just switching positions, then you get a little bit of a close up.
There you go, Benny, the fucking
How many
man.
hours of home porn do you reckon you've got?
How much fits on a terabyte?
Calculations.
Come back to me. You need some calculations. Open up. Don't use your abacus again. That ain't going to work this time around.
What's the infinity wank, eh? This is our version of the infinity wank.
Oh, I didn't pick you for that, Benny. Good on you.
100%. How could you not? Look at him.
He's got more
Fuck
spare
you,
time.
Jay.
He hasn't got kids.
Do you back sack and crack it as well then, just to tidy things up?
I only have done this once. I did it for a TV show. I went and got everything waxed off on telly.
That's a bloody hard sell. Did you know
I
what you're
saw
getting
my
yourself in
balls
for?
bleeding. I was like, yeah. The lady that was doing it was so funny though. She was Haka. She just didn't care. It was like a butcher just processing meat. Just doesn't care. Just grabs your shaft, flops it to the side, moves all your bit around. Vip, vip, vip. And then
She
I
would
was
have
like,
seen 30 bum holes that day.
yeah, she
Like,
goes, she's like, it's very rare that dudes go in though. Like she's always does it. She's always doing.
you would have
she's
been
always doing
exciting.
jokes. Yeah, well that's what I
For
said.
her.
I said, does anyone ever get excited? You get weird dudes that come in because they like it. And she's like, yeah, we did have some people who had to cancel their reservations because they were getting off on me waxing their genitals. They weren't coming here because they wanted. They wanted me to touch them essentially.
So if you look at the elbow skin, like say
You
for
gotta-
example,
you got to pull it tight.
There's a fucking lot of movement there, and if I was to put a wax strip on the outside of that, I wouldn't be 100%.
Just peel the whole thing off.
It'll just be like, it'll just get jammed, like you're kind of running a zipper and it sticks into the t-shirt underneath it,
Do you guys want to know what Seagull says like? Just a circle back. Are we allowed to circle back on this podcast?
We let it just back up from Benny's arsehole for a moment.
Yeah, which I,
Seagulls probably taste pretty similar actually.
Both love chips.
So, very dark and bloody. Extremely fishy and oily. Strong, gamey, and pretty rank compared to with normal poultry.
Okay. Well, that's enough for me to not want to have some.
There was the guy we once had a bloke on that was walking around the circumference of New Zealand,
Yes.
and he ate the seagull, and he said it was disgusting. I'm pretty sure he ate a seal as well. And that, he said, was on another level to the seagull because it was just so red and oily and fatty and fishy. Seals stink, man. You can smell them from like 300 metres away if the wind's blowing the right way.
There is, when we did that Canada ride, there was a guy that was there that used to be quite good friends with a large First Nation community, and that's like a delicacy for them. So they head out onto the ice and they basically save up all the seal meat, and then because they were kind of a little bit more urbanised, their friends or family that would live further north would bring this meat to them. And he goes, I walked into an apartment building, and as I was going through the doors at the bottom, I fucking smelt this. I knew exactly what it was. Whoa. And everyone was like, man, that hums. But then there's people that are walking past that obviously First Nation, they're like, oh my God, who's got it? It's like when someone has like a Balinese ciggy and you're like, oh, delicious, who's got a goodang? It's kind of bad. Like, they're the fucking opposite end of the scale of smell.
Yeah, I mean, the palate's obviously just adjusted.
Well, because that's how you get vitamin C, is by eating seal skin. Because there's no way of getting. It's not like they're fucking growing lemons and oranges.
That I have chewables at home.
Yeah.
Tastes like a blood orange.
I think when they've survived for hundreds and hundreds of
They're
years,
going to be okay.
They'll be sweet, mate. They could do without the fucking chewables
They'll
and
outlive us.
all the calves' feet that go into them.
You're listening to Not For Radio with Jay and Dunc. This is a pro-cat show. These boys, they love a bit of pussy.
Had that conversation over the weekend at Supercars with a couple of very well-known drivers.
Yeah, that got weird. Here's Steve Harwood. To our Kiwi brothers and sisters, do you see it as a sign of disrespect if an opposition player crosses too close to the haka? This is in any sport, they're asking. Or as mentioned in the commentary of this clip we're about to play, do the players see it as a respectful challenge? Have a go at this.
So the general rule of thumb on this one is it used to be the halfway line was where you could haka up to, because we had a school haka that we were doing in Plymouth Boys. And if you crossed the line, that meant that you wanted to fucking go, and people would go, which was always great to see. When it comes to international sports, they generally set them back at the 10-metre mark, so you can go up to the 10-metre mark, and that's basically where it stopped. Because it used to be that they go toe-to-toe. Some great ones of the New Zealand Rugby League team versus the Australian Rugby League team. They are outrageous. And then they'd have...
man, the one this year for the Australian Rugby League All-Stars versus the Kiwi All-Stars.
Impressive. Ooh. And then on top of that, you've got Samoa, Tonga, Fiji. They've all got haka, and so do Cook Islands, a large number of them do. And they... Fuck, you want to see something impressive? Look, the Tonga versus Samoa hakas. Fuck me, there is some absolute furniture about to be moved with those lads.
Get the British out there doing some Morris dancing. Each country should do their traditional dance.
This is the thing, and if you're watching this, you're going to see what the English rugby side did, and everyone has done various. I think even once the Australian rugby side turned their back on the haka.
Yeah, and they've sung a waltzing Matilda, and everyone does their own thing. It's something that is a part of our culture. It is a part of the game, effectively, because we've been playing it longer than most. And we're better at it than most people too. The most winning team in the world, the ABs.
Out the cultural challenge of New Zealand.
We have to talk about the haka.
Sure, the English team will want to man up, aim up. They won't back off, that's for sure.
When the haka took place, that you could hear a pin drop.
Yeah, past the halfway line, that's job's on there.
Joe Marler creeps his way all up over halfway. He's maybe 10 metres away, and he knows he's not supposed to be there. He knows there's a fine coming. He does not care.
And the officials got involved and said, you've got to go back a bit, you're getting too close. The All Blacks like it when opposition teams respond to the haka in a strong, positive way. It's not a sign of disrespect for England to form up in that V formation. Yeah, was it a smirk? Was it a sneer? Was it a cheeky smile from Owen Farrell? But it certainly set the tone, didn't it?
England might never say this out loud, but the £2,000 fine when Joe Marler went a bit too far, I think was probably money well spent. Seemed to have a real galvanising effect.
You knew at that moment that England were well and truly up for this.
Yeah, the trickiest part when you do kapua pango is that there isn't the big fan out where you move forward.
Yes.
But we did it.
We've got two main hakas we use.
Yeah, we've got kamate, which is the one that was been traditionally done for the longest time, and then kapua pango, which is the one that they did there where you kind of don't have as much movement because you go down. But that's a very similar one that we had at New Plymouth Boys. And as soon as someone would hit that halfway line, it was like, you really want a piece of this?
I'm 100% for it.
Yeah,
like that is like you're overstepping the line.
Yes,
and that means that the fucking start of the game is going to be electric.
Yeah, but it's a dog act. It's a dog act to step over the halfway line because up until that point, it's sportsmanship. You go past the halfway line, and you will be found at the bottom of a ruck. Your face will be found with a knee or a fucking closed fist.
Yeah, and they're asking for it though.
Yeah,
so if they're up for it, they're fucking asking for that stuff. It is sick. There's like plenty of teams have just gone in a circle.
Yeah.
And just huddled up and not even watched it. Being in a line, like on the halfway line, and a line along it and staring straight at the haka, I reckon the close-ups of that are pretty special too.
Yeah, there's some awesome ones. Even the under-21s, the World Cup of that, there's some absolute belters. Particularly the South African team, because they've been hugely dominant in that under-21 space. And they're fucking gigantic humans. Like massive, like every position a head taller, a foot wider, 30 kilos heavier. Like they're just bigger all-round humans at 21. And so they basically just look down on everybody and they just go nose to nose.
Well, I have it on quite good authority that it's very normal for them to have a long summer on the juice, especially while they're going through puberty, because it just ends up building a way bigger frame.
Wow, that's allegedly. But there'll be people. There'll be people listening to this in South Africa going, "Yep, I went on the. I went on the G for. I finished up my first 15 rugby and I disappeared for a season into the bush to play bush rugby and came back and looked like I'd swallowed a fucking chili bin and my jaw looked like Roger Ramjet. No shit.
Well, the person I was talking to said it was actually quite normal for players to come back after the summer break and be 12 kgs of muscle bigger.
Yeah.
So read between the lines there pretty easily, can't you? Did you find your guy, man? Are we juicing this year? Or
yeah,
what?
I literally was just watching a podcast, and the latest one from Stephen Bartlett, the Diary of a CEO, is the guy that is the peptide master. And interesting hearing how that's all come about. I did a peptide cycle when wasted my elbow going into, and it's the only thing that made it feel good. It was one that you can order online. It's an oral one. It's not one of the jabby ones. But shit, it like made a difference within a week. Like I wouldn't have been able to get through the fight without it.
So what they say on the Stephen Bartlett episode?
There's a whole bunch of them that are coming through. It's fascinating. If you're unfamiliar with what peptides do, it's a whole bunch of amino acids that are like Lego blocks that get stacked together to build different compounds which help you in different ways. So there'll be like 15 different ones that go into giving you a better skin complexion or give you fucking vascular superiority where you just could hammer in nails with your cock sort of thing, or grow your hair back, or they call it fitness in a bottle where you basically just get an increase in your ATP, which is your adenosine triphosphates, what you lose to go adenosine diphosphate when you're exercising. So that's the cycle that you go through, so it stays there longer so you don't drop out. They used to call it runner's advance, and that was we used to be able to buy it in bottles. I remember having it when I was like 19 and going to Wakama Worlds. What? Yeah, so you put it under your tongue so you don't have that same drop off, but it wasn't illegal. It was basically a peptide which helped you with your ADP and ATP cycle.
So
and you can just train like a motherfucker.
So what did Stephen Bartlett say?
Well, I haven't got to the end of it, but it will become...
It's funny because I expect you to say like, yeah, man, fucking jump on the juice. But then I read an article this week saying there's heaps of people, it's rife through gyms at the moment, and heaps of people have medical conditions off the back of it because they're just thumping the drugs and not doing the medical science behind it.
Well, yeah, there's people that are doing it. They become what they call grey labs. So they're not... They'll make these products, and it says not for clinical experimental use only. That's what's written on the jars, which means that you can buy it and you put it into rats to test it because they can't because peptides are created in your body. Even synthetic versions of it, you can't lay claim to. So the big pharmaceutical companies can't lay claim to these peptides that they're making.
Yeah. Okay.
So therefore, they make no fucking money, which is why they've been dragged through all these different court processes. But I've got mates that use them, and they are fitter, healthier, looking better than ever before, and have had zero downsides to them. And they'll go through a cycle, and they'll basically stop it for 6 months, and then they'll do another cycle. It's basically like taking your car in for a service, they reckon.
Well, do your own research.
Yeah, I mean, fucking look at us. Do I look like a picture of how fuck have I taken them? No, except for one small. Yeah, it's the one for muscular and cellular repair. They reckon you should do every year once you're over the age of 40, because everything starts. All these different cycles start to drop off, and they all kind of work together. And so one of them stops carrying its weight, then the rest of them really battle and they fuck out. But there's guys. He used the example of a bloke that was just a big pork chop, and as a result of that, his endocrine system was fucked, which meant that it didn't give his brain the messages to send to his sperm, send to his testes to create sperm. So they're basically infertile because they were overweight and have insulin resistancy. And so by putting this on there, it got the bloke to a point where he wasn't eating as much, his insulin levels got balanced out, he was doing exercise, and as a result of that, came back and the bloke was infertile and went to having 10 times the sperm that he had prior to becoming a little pork chop, and ended up having kids.
Gave his wife triplets, which she's real pumped about.
Bang, bang, bang. So, yeah.
Betty Boys, send over that coin of destiny.
Yes.
Okay. Big day for us now. If you're new to the podcast, first of all, welcome. If this is your first one, like we said at the start, Duncan, hi, Jay Reeve.
You've got a real skim over Ben's bum hole and doing peptides.
I mean, you'll find out new stuff all the time. Now, the coin of destiny, we came up with this idea, and we're going to use on the radio show and on the podcast. We, a couple of weeks back, we're like, how good would it be if we just had we got a coin minted, $1 million coin minted, and then we could use it to flip and help make life decisions for people.
Yes.
Like, it could be like a relatively serious life decision, just something you hung up on, or it could just be like, oh, I can't be bothered thinking. There's 2 options for dinner tonight. Can you guys just make it, and then we'll flip the thing? Now, Jay was saying, Benny Boy, you missed this, but at the start of the podcast, he's an and ahhing whether or not he should do a war story type yarn about, I'm assuming, people he knows.
Yeah, so I've got a war story from my mates, and I'll use their names in it, or I've got a war story that's here from Seth Davidson. So Seth Davidson, this is what $5,500 worth of pure silver looks like turned into a coin.
That's possibly the best money we've ever spent.
Totally.
Like, we should just go a little, move this mic over here.
Are you going to toss it? It's going to bounce straight through our...
Just listen to
Listen to that fucking weight. Boom. Okay, so what do we...
what do you call
Seth
it?
Davidson, you toss it. Seth is heads, my mate is tails. Okay? First coin desert. Heads. Seth it is.
Always flip again before the rest. I mean, we've got another episode tomorrow. So, you know, but yep,
there
today,
it is. That's the coin of destiny.
Decision's been made.
We don't fuck around with $1 million coin.
Snipers, reload. Another war story incoming. Eyes on target, scopes dialed in. Let's see who hits the mark.
Watching Dunc try and open a box.
What did I put a fucking magnet on it for?
Will be forever one of the greatest things. It's crazy to go like this. Boop.
Well,
anywho. Okay,
learn something every day.
This is from Seth Davidson. I've got a story that would go into any of your electric shock therapy episodes. Okay. I don't know we had those, but this is great stuff. When I was the ripe old age of 16, I had some dental work done that would correct my massive overbite.
Well, they're always a funny one to look at, aren't they?
That would make Mr. Smithers look like George Clooney.
Oh, tough.
You're thinking not Smithers. Smithers is the bum boy.
Mr. Burns.
Mr. Burns, that's right. One day, my mother brought home a set of dusk to dawn landscaping lights, complete with a step-down transformer and about 100 feet of electric wire. The route my loving mother, you'll find out why in a bit, wanted me to take with the lights was around about 100 feet short. We, needless to say, didn't have enough wire or lights to complete the route, and I figured, well, we'll just plug it in and test the lights, and have then subsequently left them on for the night, since my parents would get the rest of the supplies for me to complete the job within the week. A week later, I finally had the supplies, and me being the teenager I was, supposed to finish it up that day. Well, to my mistake, my mother got upset like a mother badger protecting her den. So I begrudgingly accepted my defeat and muted and mumbled my way out the door to complete the task that I'd neglected to finish in the week since getting the supplies. I see, he fucked around and didn't get the job done in the time.
Mama Bear was like, get it done.
Get the fucking thing out there. As I was placing the wires into the splicing adapter, I discovered that the prongs that allowed me to transfer the electricity into a connection were too far apart to connect the wires properly. Wow, I decided in my infinite wisdom that I would pull the wires apart. Oh, fuck. That I would pull the wires apart with my teeth.
Ah! Here we go. He's about to ride the lightning.
Fuck.
Oh, fuck, this is bad.
And just bearing in mind, I don't even know that if you're getting a shock and it tightens up your jaw muscles and your teeth are jammed around two live wires, it fucking locks it in like a Rhodesian Ridgeback Pitbull cross. I'd neglected to remember that the transformer plugged in, that I left the transformer plugged in. Boy, oh boy, did I remember once the wires touched my dental device. I forgot he had the fucking metalwork in for his overbite. I found myself shaking wildly while double fisting the cable, looking like Marv in Home Alone 2, getting the shock of his life. And I know exactly how he fucking felt. I don't remember how I got loose from the power. I think it was because of the complete failure of the local power grid. After I got my wits about me, I noticed that I could hear radio stations playing. And had a numb sensation to my entire tongue and subsequent molars. I smelt what I could only describe as burnt hair and mango chutney.
Oh my gosh.
As I staggered up the front porch stairs, I met my mother as she flung the door open, and she must have noticed the dimming of the lights in the house. And I was imitating a light bulb just outside, or heard my muffled moans of discomfort and regret. All I could manage to mutter was, "My tongue is numb," to which she fell over laughing hysterically in an uncontrollable fashion to the point of tears. To this day, I sometimes hear random radio stations and manage to become a fucking clairvoyant. Oddly enough, I have the faint the faint taste of copper in my mouth as I write this, and I'm really nervous about electrical work. Have a wonderful day. Well, thank you very much, Seth Davidson.
Turned himself into a transistor radio.
Shit.
Oh, shit, that's wild.
Wow.
That is so wild. I've never heard of that before. Holy hecker.
Fuck, that was the worst place to get a shock.
Ceasefire, snipers. Today's top marksman has been selected. The war story of the day goes to...
You can't.
Should it be Merv from Home Alone? Marv from Home Alone.
Or fucking Thai green curry.
Oh, yeah.
The prawns 880 k's from the coast. Fresh prawns.
Should we,
during a drought.
Should we just call it a truce?
Yeah. Honestly, that's like elite level stuff.
Those are magic war stories. Fucking hell.
This is unreal. I'm actually looking up like dental fillings and metal implants. Rarely individuals with old metal dental fillings or implants will get faint rhythmic sounds. The metal acts as a passive antenna, converting strong nearby AM radio signals into vibrations.
Have you fucking believed? Before we wrap this up.
Wow.
Before we wrap this up, I've got a clip. I'll put it in the podcast notes of a bloke who was handing out his music on lollipops. And so you put the lollipop in your mouth and you bite down on the stick and it plays the song through your teeth in your head.
Now I've heard of everything. That's a good gimmick.
How sick is that?
So it's the same as those runners headphones that go above your ears, but
Yeah.
you can still hear it, and so you can hear the traffic going past, whatever. It's a really odd sensation, knowing that you haven't put any earbuds in your ears, but you can still hear the music perfectly fine.
They had these security guards over in Germany when we were there for the music awards had these pads on their throat. They had like a strap that went around their neck and pads on their throat, and they had no or maybe it would have been attached to an earpiece, but they just talk and it would just pick it up out of their neck before it came out of their mouth, so you wouldn't have to go, well, there's a fucking punch up on the dance floor. They just go punch up on the dance floor, keep their mouth closed. Still hear it. Yeah.
Well, this has been an enjoyable episode.
Shit, here's what?
Jeez.
Welcome back, Maxie.
Yes.
Hello there. This is Agatha Higginsbottom, and you're listening to Not For Radio with Jay and Dunc, you fucking legends. Up the wide.
This episode of Not For Radio has been brought to you by Classic Builders. They're the kind of crew who'll sit down and go, right, what are you actually trying to do here? Then help you figure out the best way to get you there without overcomplicating it. If you've been thinking about building, even casually, worth having Classic Builders on your radar.
Thanks, team.
Go well, go long.
Up the wires.
Up the wires. We'll catch you tomorrow.
You've been listening to Jay and Dunc's Not For Radio podcast. Thanks for listening. I hope to see you soon.